Good morning, Bitcoiners. How are you? Welcome once more to the channel Bitcoin for Mere Mortals, where we're going to talk about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, technology, and the future. Bitcoin for Mere Mortals is also a book available at Amazon. And here we don't give financial advice, we give education and entertainment, to say the least. Okay, another day in Bitcoin, another flat day. Nothing happening. It went down to 46,000. Now it's in 47. We are losing 1.1% from yesterday, so nothing really exciting happening. It's gonna be like this until the end of the year or the beginning of the new year. On that, of course, there's still the companies are taking profits. And this is in the tax year is ending now. People have to pay the tax. Some people are selling some Bitcoin to pay tax, and that's why the market is kind of flat and it's not very exciting at the moment. But hold on there, because there are many reasons to be optimistic about Bitcoin, especially Bitcoin, and some of the others as well, but especially Bitcoin. As we can see, it's more or less all the same. Apart from Cardano is dropping, is dipping up a bit stronger, 4%, and the rest, Avalanche 3% down. Just to mention Algorand, which is one I like, today is going up 13%. So it seems to be that Algorand goes up when everything else is going down. So it could be a good hedge against these days that are slightly red. I wouldn't say that this is a red day. It's basically flat. It's a flat day. Anyway, but we are in extreme fear again. Oh my God! Bitcoin is exactly at the same price today as it was yesterday, and yet yesterday people were in fear, and today we're in extreme fear. I mean, extreme fear is something that you have when people are pointing a gun at you, at your head, and they're about to shoot. What's the fear? One Bitcoin, $47,000, up 80% from last year. There's nothing to fear about. Nothing at all. Look at this. These people that had no fear. Marathon, one of the biggest miners, they just bought another 78,000 Bitcoin miners. Why? Because they believe that Bitcoin is going up. Obviously, they wouldn't spend millions in Bitcoin miners if they didn't think that. And now they have, they paid $879 million for that. And now they have almost 200,000 active machines. And they are putting 23 exahash, which is a lot. It's a lot of power there. So they are mining lots of Bitcoin. They're going to keep mining Bitcoin for many years to come, and this is good for the network and good for Bitcoin. Also in November, there wasn't a very exciting month for the price, but 1 million people, 1 million new wallets were created. So that's telling you that the world is slowly waking up to the fact that Bitcoin is the only asset that was worth buying. There's nothing else. Nothing else. It's a desert, and then it's Bitcoin. That's it. Plan B, which is being criticized heavily for failing his model, I don't think he has failed yet. He might fail, but he's not failing yet. See, this is in red you had the price of Bitcoin. This is the stock to flow model. In the stock to flow, you measure the stock of Bitcoin already available, and the flow model is how many Bitcoins are going into the market every day. And then according to that, because the flow is shrinking every 4 years, the price will jump every 4 years. And it has done almost perfectly. The price has followed the model almost verbatim for the last 10 years or so. Yeah, sometimes it goes way higher, sometimes it hasn't really go lower, a lot lower, apart from the beginning. But if you stay in the blue band, if the prices stay in the blue band, the model is still valid, and we are still in the blue band, but we are at the bottom of the blue band. This is good news. This is why, because the bottom of the blue band is a signal to buy. So if you have some cash, now it's time to buy. Then to buy is not here when it's at the top. It's not here when it's at the top. It's not here when it's way over the top. Here when way over the top. Here or here. There's no exactly time to buy. It doesn't matter if you buy here, because it's still going up. But if you can choose between buying here at the top or here at the bottom, it's better to buy at the bottom. And we are right now at the bottom. So stock to flow model still valid. Buy now, because we are going here and here and here and here, and eventually we'll go here. And you know what this is? This is $1 million per one Bitcoin. And that's going to happen more or less in 2025. Okay. And just to let you know, I thought Latin America is always, all the countries there, or most of the countries, have many problems with corruption, with the economy, and many other problems. But right now, and one of the worst always is El Salvador. But this year, for next year, the prediction from CEPAL is that El Salvador is going to be the third fastest growing economy in the region. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Because they have Bitcoin, obviously. So, and in this list, there are other countries that are also flirting with the idea of incorporating Bitcoin. I mean, we talk here about Paraguay, Panama, Honduras, Cuba, although in a different way. Colombia is in the cards, I think. I believe Argentina is doing something about it. Also, Ecuador is we've mentioned Ecuador here before. So they will. This is good news for Bitcoin, good news for El Salvador, and good news for all the countries in Latin America that are trying to adopt Bitcoin in one way or another. What else we got here? Well, according to this article from Isabella Weber, we have a powerful weapon to fight inflation. It's price controls. Oh my God. Why didn't we think of that before? Right? I mean, you want to control inflation, you just go to every supermarket, every vendor, every raw goods provider, and tell them, hey, don't raise your prices. Problem solved. Inflation goes to zero overnight. I'm pretty sure that doesn't work like that at all. I'm no economist, but I mean, really, this is all the best. This is the best minds, the people in power, all the politicians and ministers and economists. This is the best thing they can come out with. Let me tell you why that doesn't work. That's what they try to do. They used to try to do in the Soviet Union. That's what they are trying to do in Venezuela. That's what they're trying to do in Turkey and in Lebanon. And guess what? It doesn't work. It actually goes the opposite. If you are forcing the prices into the market reacts by finishing the supply. What happens in Venezuela, for example, is that you go to a supermarket and the supermarket is empty. There's no products there because the government is saying, no, you can only buy bread at this price that I'm telling you, because the market is not providing bread at such price. There's no bread. So let's be careful with price controls. Always be careful about the brilliant ideas of politicians. And this is how bad the situation is for fiat money and 4 countries. Germany, which is an industrial powerhouse, when you buy traditionally, investors that don't want to take too much risk, they invest in bonds backed by a country. You can buy bonds in any country, and they will give you a yield of they don't give you a lot of yield. They give you maybe 2%, maybe 3%, something like that. But they give you excuse me a second. Sorry, I had to cough there. They will give you 2%, 3%, something like that. But it's very safe. It's normally very safe. People that don't want to go into the stock market or other investments. What's happening that now the yield that bonds are given is negative. It's minus 5% in Germany. So you give them $100 and they give you back $94.4. That's not a very good investment, I don't think. Okay, I'm gonna write an article about 7 reasons why Bitcoin will succeed. And so you don't have to worry about the price like being stagnant for the moment or being kind of down in the last month or so, because this is only one way, and the way is up. But the first reason why Bitcoin is going up is because fiat is going down. Let's keep in mind that when we say that Bitcoin is worth $47,000, we are measuring Bitcoin in dollars, which we don't have to measure in fiat necessarily, but most people understand. This is a reference that most people understand. We could be measuring Bitcoin in houses, for example, or in meals. you could say how many Bitcoin does it cost to buy a meal at McDonald's, for example. There's many ways to measure Bitcoin. At the moment, we are using fiat and we're using the dollar. The dollar is going down, so Bitcoin is going up. Even if Bitcoin doesn't do anything, even if people don't invest in Bitcoin, if fiat is going down, Bitcoin is going up. That's the first thing to keep in mind. Second is inflation. Bitcoin is a safe haven against inflation, and as we know, inflation is now officially 7% in most countries, in most developed nations, I should say. But even that figure is wrong. It's clearly more than that. It's clearly at least double than that. So in the US and in Europe, it's at least 15%. So you need a safe haven to protect you against inflation. So you buy something that goes up 100% a year instead of going down 15%. Simple as that. If you keep your money in cash, you're losing money. Okay, lack of alternatives. You see, Bitcoin we have some problems if there was other options, but there isn't any option. There is no option there. Every option that I look into is 1,000 times worse. Let's keep them. For example, gold. Gold has gone down about between 5 and 10% in the last 10 years. So that's not a good investment. In the same time, Bitcoin has gone up 5 million%. So compare that. Okay, real estate. Yeah, this is going up now because of inflation. A rising tide lift all boats, as they say. But when you take into account the amount of taxes, the amount of maintenance, the risk, the lack of liquidity, let's keep in mind that a house is very illiquid. The only thing I like about real estate is that you can borrow money to buy. Like you normally they don't lend you money buy Bitcoin, but they lend you money to buy a house. So that's a bit of advantage for real estate, and that's probably why real estate is gonna kind of be stable against inflation, But compare how much real estate goes up despite all the headaches, and how much compare that to Bitcoin. I mean, there's not much, and Bitcoin is so much liquid, so much easier to buy, so much profitable that I don't think it's a match. What else we got? The stock market. The stock market is a bubble. I know people say that Bitcoin is a bubble, but Bitcoin is not a bubble. Let me explain why. The stock market should go up when the economy is doing well, when companies are doing well. If companies are selling, if you go to a restaurant or a chain of restaurants that are attracting a lot of customers every day, even while you're selling more food and you're making money and you're making profit, and the stock usually goes up. Okay, that's exactly the opposite of what's happening. Companies are not selling anything. The economy is stagnant due to the COVID-19. Restaurants are closing. People are staying at home. People don't spend. People are not consuming goods or services, and yet the stock market is going up. That tells you there's a difference between the real world and the price of stocks. So eventually there's going to be a correction. There's no other way. But Bitcoin is not a bubble. Bitcoin is the opposite. It's a safe haven against inflation. People are looking for an asset that has a limited supply and that's immutable, and it's got a rising demand and a shrinking supply. That's not a bubble. That's not the characteristic of an asset that it is a bubble. Okay. Altcoins are not much. I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but the lower you go in this, let's keep in mind one thing. First, Bitcoin is here to provide a store of value. The market worldwide for storing value is about $500 trillion, okay? Of which Bitcoin is less than 1 trillion. So it's still another 499 trillions to grow. So it's very early, and Bitcoin is the only of all these coins here. You see many coins here. There's about 7,000 coins, okay? Only one it has become a store of value, and is Bitcoin. The rest are competing in smart contracts, technology, DeFi, decentralized application, which is very good, very nice. Some of them will succeed and make a lot of money, but keep in mind risk, and keep in mind that technology does not amount to the kind of money that storing value does. The market for storing value is 500 trillion. The market for technology is 10, 20, 30 trillion maximum. It will grow because everything is becoming technological. But when you compare the kind of money that is in real estate, in bonds, mutual funds, gold, all that kind of money is going to Bitcoin, and it's not going to Solana. It's not going there. It's just not going there. These are much more speculative investments. I like some of these projects, but they are no competition for Bitcoin because they are competing in the different market. They are competing in the technology market and not in the storing value market. So Bitcoin has no competition within altcoins or within traditional investments. And Bitcoin is safer, much safer than any other, because it's decentralized. It's the only that is this truly decentralized. When you have something that is centralized, it means that it could be attacked. It provides an attack vector, which powerful organizations like the FBI or the CIA could go there and close it down. Even Ethereum even Solana, or especially Solana is very centralized. Even some of the coins that I like Matic, Luna, and all that, they got headquarters, they got a leader, they got a place, they have offices, and all it takes is sends the FBI there and close it down, put down the servers, and the project disappears and the value goes to zero. That cannot be done with Bitcoin because it's it's the most decentralized network ever invented, even more decentralized than the internet. So there you go. And it's also, Bitcoin is also censorship resistant, so this is a great opportunity for countries that are not democratic and where the human rights are not respected. So right now you are in Venezuela, in Cuba, in Zimbabwe, or God knows, the government can take your bank account, they can confiscate your money, they can confiscate your property, they can let you you could lose everything because there's a new law saying that you should pay them all the money to the government, and that is happening unfortunately far too often. In Argentina a few years back we had the Corralito, the government closed down the banks, they devalued the currency 100 to 1, so if you have 100, now you only have 1 peso, and they forced conversion from US dollars to pesos at the new rate. So imagine that the government can go and take your money anywhere. That normally doesn't happen. That's good in the developed world, in Europe and in the US, but it could happen if they want to. But the thing is, it cannot happen with Bitcoin. If you have Bitcoin, they cannot take it from you, and if they cannot take something from you, is your right, is your property, is something that is censorship resistant, is permissionless. So how many countries need this? Well, I would say that I would argue that 80% of countries in the world need a censorship resistant asset. They need to hold on to property. One of the reasons why people in Africa are still very poor, despite having a lot of resources and raw materials, is because the currencies that they have to deal with are garbage, total garbage. The moment they start dealing in Bitcoin, they will be able to save money, and they won't be punished by inflation and confiscation, devaluation, debasement, and all that things that happen unfortunately all over the world. Okay, that's all I got for today. Just the little joke at the end is the moment you realize you first heard about Bitcoin in 2014. This is me, this is my younger self. Boom! We should have bought more in 2014, right? Okay, thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe, comment, ask me any questions if you wanna feel like this, and I will see you tomorrow for the last video of the year. Bye bye for now.